Hey guys, welcome to not probably, it is the first video in this series where I'm going to be making a park filled with every single dinosaur in the game, and aquatic creature and pterosaur, all that good stuff. But before we hop into it, I do apologize for my mic quality. I have not figured out how to work it yet, so I'm just kind of winging it right now. If it sounds like shit, that's why. Yeah. So we are going to be doing about 4 different enclosures today, including the Sauropod enclosure, the Hadrosaur one, the petting zoo, and then you'll see the final one. But yeah, let's just jump into this now. Alright, so what you're seeing in the background is going to be me making a mountain, but even though I'm on console, it's going to take a long time, and I actually don't know if it's going to fit every single dinosaur, I'm going to be honest, so I'm just kind of hoping, praying, hoping it does right now. But yeah. Yeah, so this mountain is going to be separated to 4 separate different heights. This is going to be the peak of the mountain, which will be the arrival point. There's going to be the middle of the mountain, where a bunch of the enclosures will be. There's going to be the plains and all that, where most of the dinosaurs will be located. And then what I'm building right now, you can see, is actually a volcano. I thought having a volcano in a dinosaur park, first off, it's kind of morbid, not going to lie, especially for the dinosaurs, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have the volcano as like one of the main centerpieces. Just a main. Yes, so this volcano actually got the idea based off of a video from Evolution Square. First off, she gave me so much inspiration for this. It's crazy. If you guys don't know who she is, but if you're watching this, you probably do. But still, give her a watch. She is great. But yeah, so down here in the middle between the 2 mountains, I put a little valley. That's where the ornithomimosaurs are going to go. Kind of like you see in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. We got an ornithomimosaur valley. But then I finish off with painting the mountain, make it look kind of blend in nice, you know, very fancy, as we can see. But then I'm done that. Then I go back to working on the actual mountain, the main centerpiece of this island. So this is, holy shit, I hate this process so much. I got this also from Evolution Square. I'm never doing this one again. I hate it. I spent probably 40 minutes in total making just the mountain in a 3-hour stream. It took so long. But if you do want like an actual mountain, this is probably the easiest way to go. Like I said, Evolution Square gives a bunch of these types of stuff. If you haven't given it a watch, I recommend doing that. But yeah, so I did want to have like the peak be on the left side and have a kind of swoop down on the bottom so the volcano wouldn't look so minute in comparison. But I was originally going to put it on the left side of the peak, but then I saw there was a right side, easy opening, and I put the square there. I was going to do the Jurassic Park Arrival Center, but I was like, I've done that too many times. So I decided to put the Malta one, which I thought looked way nicer and it kind of blended into the park idea better. But so once I'm done smoothing out the mountain, which you're seeing right now, then I actually work on the entrance. So first off, this part took me for like 2 minutes I was trying to work this out. So I'm struggling with that. Then I eventually got it to work, and then I make kind of like a little, I don't know, oval shape almost, like an oval shape I'd say. And that's what you're seeing right there. And in the middle, I put like a big, large path, and that so it kind of swoops down the mountain. Kind of like you see like a trail or like a car path going down a mountain. That's what I was going for. But it splits off because the park does eventually split off. And I made the path a bit smaller because it looks a bit more natural that way. And then I decided for the entrance, I wanted something kind of grand, something like that hides the background. So I put the Jurassic Park gate, obviously, and the T-Rex. But these 2 walls, like I said, I want to hide the gate, or the rest of the park. So when you first enter, you can't actually see the park. You got to go through the gate, and then you can see a huge expanse over. It gives you a huge overview of the island. So I made that work. I added a bunch of little decorations, a bunch of trees, a bunch of pots, but plants. This one, I wanted the squiggly ones. I could not make it work. I was so sad with myself. So I eventually just swapped it. Went for whatever that little circle, oval, egg thingy looking is, and then I put some trees and mirrored them. But in the back, I also put some flower plants, and then I put some more plants everywhere, just to make it look a bit nicer, and then I kind of filled in trees everywhere so it looked a bit more natural. Like I said, I wanted everything to be hidden. But I got these gigantic, I don't know what they're called, the Hadrosaur trees. I got those. And then the first thing I wanted was a petting zoo. I thought it'd be great, like first thing to be introduced to, but I did not realize I made it so small. That was a huge mistake in my part. But yeah, so I made it so small that you'll see later I could not fit any water in there, so I had to turn off the water needs for the dinosaurs. But it was like a perfect width for that little entrance gate, Because if you guys don't know, dinosaurs actually can't cross a bunch of these little fences. Sorry, not fences, a bunch of these decorations. But yeah, on one of the walls, I could not, so it was so small I couldn't fit it in the back, which sucked. And I wanted this gate originally, or sorry, the tower, but I couldn't fit it on one side, so I just kind of ditched that idea. Went with more some natural plant look, and that's what pulled this whole thing together. But yeah, anyways, I added some more plants because the dinosaurs, like I said, the hitboxes, they kind of don't mesh too well with these, but every little part needs to be hidden because dinosaurs are gonna creep through otherwise sometimes, which I ended up working out. It looked way nicer than the original idea I had. But yeah, you'll see in a second. I'm gonna use some rocks. Actually, I'll talk about it when I get to it. Alright, so I'm just finish off the trees. It's gonna make it look really nice. A very cute little entrance, I think. But see, I tried to add water. Could not add the water, so I ditched that. Turned it off eventually. But then I made it look a bit nicer because I was gonna put the Hadrosaur in here, and they were too small to see over the grass, so I just kind of made it mostly dirt. But these two rocks, they actually are meant. I saw a picture online of a petting zoo, and then I looked at the petting zoo, and there's like a little monkey or a lizard, whatever, was standing on a rock. So I decided to go with that. That was the idea I had for it. And I realized the rocks were so big, but oh my god, dude, are they huge? Holy shit. They're like probably 8 feet tall. I thought they were like 3 feet. They're very big. But yeah, then I painted the mountain because I totally forgot to do that. And then I added dinosaurs. Like I said, I added the Hadrosaur. Those are the ones you mainly want to pet. I added 2 Drysaurs and then 1 Crichtonsaurus, but eventually I decided I felt bad for him, and I gave him a little buddy eventually. And I was going to put some plants everywhere, but I decided only on inside the rocks. Alright, well, up next, I don't remember exactly where I got this idea. I think it was another flower garden that I saw, but it didn't have hadrosaurs in it, and I think it was sauropods, and I'm going to be honest, it was probably from Evolution Square, but I don't remember who it was exactly. Anyways, this is what influenced the idea. I want to do hadrosaurs in here, but I didn't put every single hadrosaur. Like I said, this park is going to hold every single dinosaur if I can do it. It wasn't going to do that. So this one only had 4. I'll show you them later, but right now I'm just deciding. There's no flowers in the game, from what I know, and I had to use these ones, which I like the red flowers. They're pretty cute. And then I kind of dotted some rocks around and gave it a bunch of, like, you know, different variation of the terrain, made it rise a little, lower a little. But yeah, and then I added some trees. I decided to go with the autumn trees. Didn't realize I wasn't using them at first. I was using the temperate trees, so I changed to that real fast, but it looked pretty nice, so I kept it. And originally I didn't want there to be a lake, but I said it looked pretty nice, and I kept it, and I just kind of expanded what the original size of this park was going to be. And right here is going to be the entrance, and oh my god, I hate this part right here. This is where I lined the entire thing in these plants. On console, holy shit, dog, this takes so long. I hated doing it. I'm never doing it again, until I do it later in this video again. But I decided to shortcut a little bit by making these little oval-shaped inlets. That's going to be a seating area for the flower garden, which I thought came out pretty nice. So I was like, yep, okay, it's pretty cute. And then you've seen it right there. And I smoothed that a little bit. I'm going to smooth that a bit more later. That's what I just did right then. So then I continue on my trek to finish adding the pot of plants. And oh my god, I want to die every single second the whole time. Hated it. Ugh. I'm never doing it again. Horrible. Alright, then I added another seating area in here. This one was a bit hard to smooth out, but I eventually did it well enough. And then I, like I said, continued finishing it off. I had to move the trees again because they were in the way, but kept placing pots. And then I moved the dinosaurs over. Like I said, I have 4 different hadrosaurs here. We're going to have Iguanodon, Metaburosaurus, Alora Titan, and Parasaurolophus. So I believe I added in total 2 batches of Parasaurs, 1.5 of Alora Titan, and 1.5 of every single other one, because I wanted the most vibrant dinosaurs in here. Because a lot of them have blank patterns, surprisingly. I put on shuffle. Why do half of them go to blank patterns? It's so annoying. Anyways, so you'll see in a second, but once I'm done doing this, then I finally ship the dinosaurs over. But I did forget to finish the whole second half, which were 2 out of the 4 dinosaur species going. And I had to block it off. So the game's frozen right now, so nothing's shipped. Right, I decided I did not want to deal with that, putting plants on the outer half, so I just did an invisible gate, which I covered up with a bunch of rocks. Which I got an idea from this one smaller dinosaur YouTuber. If I find him, I'll put his name on the screen. I love his content too. Like, huge shout out to him. I think it's either him or Evolution Square I got the idea for this garden from. But I'll definitely give him a watch too. He deserves all the views. He was great at what he does. But he told me to mix up the rocks, so I chose a bit of desert and a bit of taiga because it looks very nice when they blend together. But so then I started preparing for the sauropod thingy, which you'll see right now. This one, oh my god, I love doing this one. So, like, a bit of background, my grandma, her favorite dinosaur is a Brachiosaurus. So, I don't know, I just always like the Brachiosaurus and the sauropods. I love them so much. Later in the video, I'm gonna hate him. You'll see why, but it should be in the next episode or the one after that. I'll explain why I hate him. But yeah, so I made the mountain path a bit more green so it didn't look so unnatural. There's gonna be a green, kind of foresty path down the mountain. And then I wanted this entrance to be something really, not grand, just kind of, you know, not spectacular. You know what I look for is like something unique, original, right? Something that like stands out to you. It doesn't have to be grand, doesn't have to be too big. Right, so I chose the small one in the middle because I wanted it to be kind of split down the middle. Didn't look like there's too many on one side versus the other. But I did the same thing again. I put the invisible fences on the outside. And you'll see in a second, I'm going to have to do the whole thing over again with those potted plants. The accursed plants. I hate them so much. You guys don't have any idea how much I hate potted plants now. But yeah, I speckled around some of those. I think they're ginkgo trees, right? I think I might be wrong with that. But I just speckled those around for the sauropods to eat. Put 2 little watering wells on either side so they can hang around if they wanted. And this is where we're going. More paths. Hated them. But I did put lights on every single intersection because I think that looks a bit nicer. Right, once I was done with this, then I started shipping over the sauropods, which I chose a couple species. I'll explain them and why I chose them in a few seconds because I did leave out a couple, or like 1 or 2 of the sauropod species in here. This is not all sauropod. Also, this place is called Sauropod Sound, which I know a sound is meant to be bordering water, like in all sides, and this thing is not or like a bay. It is not bordering water at all. So I couldn't think of any other S name that worked for this. But here's the entrance. Originally I went with a fountain, didn't like it, so I went with a Brachiosaurus statue. And you're gonna hate me for this. It's not symmetrical. I'm so sorry. That's where I went wrong with those 2 walls. I put the left one up too high and the right one down too far. So you see in a second, it looks really, really good up until you get to the tree on the left side. I had to put a potted plant there, couldn't put it on the right side. So I'm sorry about that, I'm so sorry. But then I put some alpine trees, the kind of swampy looking ones in the background, because I thought it looked cool with the dripping leaves behind the Brachiosaurus. But so I put the wheat when dinosaurs ruled the earth thing there because I don't know, I thought it looked pretty fancy. And I was like, yeah, we'll keep it. I thought it looked pretty nice. Right, so then I just finished up the trees. I tried to smooth out the thingy, but I couldn't really smooth it out, which sucked. I wanted it to be kind of like a gradual slope down. I could not get it to work. I was so upset. Right, so it's a pretty steep walk down. So if you're not paying attention and you're guessing, you're gonna fall face first going down, which isn't very fun, I'd say. But yeah, then I moved the gate a little bit. I didn't like how it looked exactly. And originally I was gonna put some rocks on the side. I was gonna be too many rocks, so I just kind of hit it with an invisible fence. And again, more rocks. I love rocks so much. They're so cool. Right, I did the same thing with the Mediterranean and the taiga. Then I added the sauropods. We got Mamenchosaurus, I put 2 of them, 2 Dreadnoughtuses, 2 Alamosauruses, 3 Brachiosaurs, 3 Diplodocuses, and then 2 Camarosauruses. So I wanted them to be based on size and where they go, but eventually they all just kind of went to the left side of the park, which kind of sucks. But yeah, so those things are huge. It looks really, really cool from the view from the down below. I think it looks awesome. It's very, very fun. I loved making this build. It's great. But no, I'm very proud of this one. And the next one you'll see in just a second is actually going to be a diner area. So we'll hop right into that one now. Alright, so this next one is going to be the dining area. It's like a herbivore vegan cafe diner. Where I started off by drying, by literally getting rid of the water so I could actually build. Then I decided to add. So I didn't like how the big one looked. It didn't look naturally enough. So I decided to go with this one right here, which adds a lot more wood and I thought it looked way better for what I was going. And then I gave a light green hue to sell the the vegetable cafe-ness. But then I added a main centerpiece, a fountain, and a bunch of like tables to sit at outside of it, because this is gonna be like a dining area for people to sit at. So when you get hungry, walking down the whole mountain, or walking down that steep-ass hill to your vacation hotel or whatever, you can go up there and be at the get some nice, like, what do vegans eat? Burritos, like vegetable burritos, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a vegan. Right, so I made the dinosaurs, and then right now I made this fancy little walkway. It's going to take you to another enclosure, which will be in the next video. It's going to be the swamp enclosure. There's going to be the upper swamplands and the lower marshlands. I'll explain that more and why I chose that in a minute. But I dry that off, and then I worked on finishing this habitat right here for the petting zoo. Not petting zoo, sorry, oh my god, what is it? The cafe. So I'm going with this little like enclosure shape right now, but I end up changing it later on. You'll see what I mean, because there needs to be a path leading there. But I said I was done making these flower pot paths. No, I'm not done yet. I still got a bit more to go. I do some bit more cheating. I work on that a little bit, and I gave it these kind of nice little flat half. I think I liked how it looked. I don't know. That was the first time I've ever done something like that, so I just kind of went with it, kind of winged it, and I thought it won very well. You know what I mean? Right, so I had some more, because there's going to be dinosaurs on both sides. Same thing like how it was with the hadrosaurs. Because there's going to be two species of hadrosaurs in here. I'll show you those in a minute once I actually get them incubated and all that. Right, guess what I do? More rocks! What? Yep, more rocks, baby! That's what you'll ever see. Woo! Yeah, baby! I want different rocks this time, the alpine rocks. I just to mix it up a little bit. And there I'm changing the path to go through that. And more rocks! Yeah! So I finish off with the potted plants, and like I said, this is going to be where the swamp enclosure is, so I eventually get rid of that. And then I put this little car thing in there. And I eventually put more rocks, so now they can walk through it, obviously. Because we love rocks. Hell yeah. Rocks. And I gave this little teardrop shape. I thought it looked way nicer than it was before. I kind of like how this whole thing, kind of a zen. I know I'm going to have a zen garden later, but still, I like how. And then I messed up real bad here. I should have put a short pot in front of that car thing. Nope, I had to do it right there. I was so upset. So if you don't look at it, you're never going to see it. Just ignore it the best you can, alright? So then I finished decorating a little bit, then I added the actual dinosaurs. So I chose the Corythosaurus, Aranosaurus, Nodosaurus, and then the Chasmosaurus. First off, this guy glitched on the floor. I thought it was kind of funny. Wait, I just kind of shot them all over there. In a second, you'll see it. Wait, I went with the colorful dinosaurs again. But I liked the more green ones. I thought it went with the vibe of the place. And then once they were all tranquilized, they were shipped over and promptly introduced to their new habitat. Which I still forgot to actually decorate the inside of the plants, so I had to do that before they got there. So for the vegetation, I wanted it to go for like an earthy, almost kind of like a kind of leafy tone. A lot of green, a lot of brown. So I went with those, I call them swamp trees. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I always put on my swamp build to see in the next video. I put some leafy climbers and the fibers, and then I threw a bunch of volcano rocks to give it, like I said, an earthy feel. And then that whole thing was done, which I'm very proud of how it turned out. It's very small compared to the other ones, but I really am happy with it turned out. So again, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you want to watch another video, I should have one out in the next week or two to see the next builds. But before that, here's another video. I hope you enjoy, and I really hope you do consider subscribing because I do put a lot of time in this. But yeah, I hope you have a great day, everyone.